Hey, good day, everyone. I'm Troy Kennedy, founder and CEO of LoanWorks. Kevin, can you see everything clearly? And I'm loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you, Emma, for co-hosting. And look, we'll kick off. We have 20 quality minutes together and some important topics to cover. You know, everywhere you look today, the mortgage industry is talking about AI. Every conference has sessions on AI. Every vendor has an AI roadmap. Every platform claims to be using AI to transform lending. And the question most companies are asking is simple. How do we add AI to what we're already doing? At LoanWorks, we asked a different question. What would a mortgage company look like if AI wasn't just another tool, but part of the workflow itself? That question led us down a very different path. Instead of layering AI on top of an existing mortgage company, we began redesigning the operating system underneath it all. So today I want to share why that matters, why we believe it represents the future of mortgage lending, and what it means for loan officers, managers, and broker owners who really want to thrive in this new next decade of this industry. So for more than 20 years, certainly the 23 years I've been in the industry, we've been layering technology onto the old mortgage process. We added loan origination systems. We added pricing engines, CRMs. We added compliance platforms, communications tools, then new POSs and borrower portals and a whole web of APIs to bolt on third-party tools. Every one of those innovations promised transformation, and many of them delivered real improvements. But despite all that technology, borrowers still experience delays. Loan officers still spend enormous amounts of time on administrative work. Ops teams still fight bottlenecks, and managers still struggle to gain visibility into the pipeline. Now we're doing the same thing with AI. Most companies are approaching AI with the same assumption they've used for those past decades. If we add enough technology, the user experience will improve. But technology was never the real problem. The workflow was. So unless we change the workflow, AI simply becomes one more tool sitting on top of the same challenges we've always had. Now, if you're producing LO, this slide looks all too familiar. Um, Borrowers are still waiting for updates and answers. Loan officers are still chasing conditions and requesting documents, following up on missing items. Processors, underwriters, and closers still spend their days managing bottlenecks and moving files from one stage to the next. And managers still rely on reports, spreadsheets, and meetings to understand what's really happening in the pipeline. Look, everyone's working hard, everyone is busy, yet many of the same frustrations that existed 10 years ago still exist today. So the technology changed, the workflow didn't. And the mortgage industry successfully digitized the process, but it never fundamentally redesigned the process. That's why so many organizations still have the same friction despite far better technology. So that's why I believe most companies are asking the wrong question. They're asking, how do we add AI? That question usually produces the same sort of solutions, right? AI chatbots and assistants, OCR document readers, point solutions designed to automate, one specific task at a time. And those tools certainly do help. They save time and improve efficiency, but none of them fundamentally change how work moves through the organization. So adding AI to a broken workflow doesn't eliminate the bottleneck. It simply moves it somewhere else. You may take one step faster while leaving the rest of the process unchanged. That's optimization. It isn't transformation. And that's the distinction that matters. The better question is this: what should a mortgage company become when AI can coordinate the work? Notice that this is no longer a technology question. It's an operating model question. It's a workflow question. It's a leadership question. Technology is simply the enabler. The real opportunity is redesigning how work flows through the company, how decisions get made, and where human beings can create the greatest value. The organizations that figure this out will stop renovating the old structure and start redesigning the system itself. And that's the path that LoanWorks chose. Because when you strip away all the technology, all the compliance requirements, and all the industry terminology, mortgage lending comes down to one thing: coordination, right? Every loan needs coordination. Certainly, it requires documentation, conditions, approvals, status updates, and all that requires follow-up. The entire production process is really just a series of interconnected activities involving a lot of people, including borrowers, referral partners, LOs, and the fulfillment staff, processors, underwriters, closers, and managers. And historically, people have been responsible for coordinating all of these moving parts. It's almost an impossible job that we've asked of ourselves. And that's truly where much of the industry's cost, delay, inefficiency, and outright frustration comes from. In the end, mortgage isn't fundamentally a lending problem, it's a coordination problem. And whoever solves that at scale will define the future of this industry. For the first time in the history of our industry, that workflow can now be coordinated continuously, not one file at a time or one department at a time or one task at a time, and not just during business hours. Every file can now be monitored simultaneously. Every stage can be tracked, every exception identified, every stakeholder informed 24/7. And that's the shift most companies underestimate. Look, AI isn't replacing loan officers. It isn't replacing relationships, but AI is replacing manual coordination. And when that becomes automated, people are freed up to focus on the work that only people can do. It's building trust, providing guidance, solving problems, and creating and deepening relationships. And this is where LoanWorks becomes different. So rather than creating another AI feature or a bolt-on tool, we actually built an interconnected production system designed to remove friction across the entire loan and production lifecycle. And as you heard earlier in the presentation, we are leveraging as one of our primary partners Angel AI and their $120 billion backbone of AI that truly helps us redefine how the mortgage process works. All right. With our full integrations, we manage things from end to end. Okay. This includes lead creation and prospecting. This is helping to quote guidelines and help structure scenarios to get deals in the door. It helps take applications using conversational AI with intelligence, requesting only the minimal documentation required, and using that information to automatically populate the 1003. All right, then it manufactures the loans using AI intelligence and automated underwriting and processing, manages pipeline activity and expedites files as needed, escalates as needed, and then ultimately helps recapture customers throughout the servicing life cycle. So each function is connected to the next in real time. And the objective isn't simply automation. The objective is production. When every component works together, friction is reduced, communication improves, and the entire system becomes more efficient and effective. So the result is that loan officers spend less time managing processes and more time generating business. And that's where it all comes together. At the end of the day, LOs and sales managers don't get paid for technology. They get paid for production, right? That's what matters. And the system needs to help you close more loans, create a better borrower experience, and generate more income. Our LoanWorks production system is designed to improve all that, including approval ratios, removing overlays and underwriting directly to guidelines, so ultimately creating more consistency and opportunity. It helps increase pull-through by reducing confusion and creating clear expectations throughout the process. It expands fulfillment capacity by allowing everyone to handle more volume without increasing the administrative workload. So decision cycles become faster because conditions are identified earlier and addressed proactively. Most importantly, the time gets returned to the loan officer. That's more time prospecting, more time building relationships, more time growing the business. And because capacity increases, earnings become scalable. That's why we focus on production, not just technology. Technology is the means, production is the outcome. And the result is not faster because people work harder. The result is faster because the workflow works differently. Conditions are identified, routed, and tracked in minutes rather than days. Files are structured properly. They're cleaner, they're more organized, and underwriting decisions can therefore happen even more quickly. Cycle times compress throughout the entire loan process. And that means processing is done in minutes, underwriting in hours, and closing in days. Not because people are being asked to do more, but because the system itself is doing more. And when AI becomes part of the workflow, everyone benefits. Borrowers, LOs, managers. Borrowers experience greater ease through the intelligent systems, fewer documentation requests, and around-the-clock access. They experience greater speed through real-time updates, faster decisions, and most importantly, they experience greater certainty throughout the process. LOs gain something equally valuable. They get their time. Administrative burden is reduced. Automation handles the repetitive tasks. And integrated systems, improve transparency and ease. So ultimately, higher production becomes possible, all without sacrificing service quality. Managers, for the first time, gain visibility into every file, every stage, every risk and opportunity. Your consistency improves, scalability improves, and the entire organization becomes more effective because coordination becomes continuous rather than manual. I believe our industry is standing at a fork in the road. One path is to continue adding AI tools to existing workflows. That path focuses on incremental improvement. It focuses on optimization of the old model. The other path is to redesign the operating model itself, to rebuild workflows around system intelligence closest to the production and not depend on human bandwidth, to create structural advantages that compound over time. And these are not competing strategies. They're fundamentally different strategies. One is optimization, the other is transformation, and only one will decide the next decade. So everything that we've discussed today comes down to these three simple ideas. Everything is connected, everything is coordinated, and everything is moving. At LoanWorks, we believe the future mortgage company won't be built by adding more technology to yesterday's model. It will be built by redesigning the operating system underneath it, right? A system where every stakeholder is connected, a system where workflow is coordinated continuously, a system where files move faster, borrowers experience greater certainty, and loan officers gain leverage. That's the future we're building. And if you're interested in being part of that future, we welcome the opportunity to continue this conversation after today's session. Regardless of where you are on your journey, or whether you're a loan officer or a manager or an owner, we're here to help. And very much appreciate your time. And with that, I think we do have a little bit of time left, just a few minutes, and love to open it up for some Q&A and get some of your input. Emma, how are we doing on time? And can we open it up for Q&A, please?
We have about 3 minutes left.
Fantastic. All right, you can enter questions in the Q&A. And we did have some questions come in at the last time we didn't have time to answer. And one of those was, hey, what does it mean to be a fully integrated Angel AI broker? And many of you saw our press release, and the NMP article and a lot of publications about it. But one of the questions was, are we independent? Are we part of Angel AI? No, we're an independent mortgage broker, and we have a strategic alliance with Angel AI to leverage their platform in many aspects of the business. And we have gone about it in a completely different way by embedding it at the operational workflow rather than just using some of the capabilities. We're using them all. And because of that, we have full capabilities and had the luxury of designing the company from the ground up very intentionally to capitalize on all of the capabilities while still leaving flexibility to partner with a lot of other companies as the technology wheel spins very, very quickly. But yes, we're set up as the wholesale broker to bring this nationwide through the wholesale channel.
Roy, we have a question from John. To take full advantage of the Angel AI system, do you broker all loans to a single investor? I think this is SunWest, or are you able to sell to other investors using this system?
Great question. No, we are a broker, and very intentionally so. There are a lot of shifts coming up in the marketplace with technology of warranted approvals that can automatically be shopped out to various investors and takeouts for the best X of rate and fee. So we're intentionally designed as an independent broker. While we do fulfill a lot through SunWest because of their competitive positioning and the full integration that guarantees service level agreements and fast outcomes, we do have the flexibility and go outside for many different types of loans. So if we need to for pricing or for unique situations, we go outside. And a lot of that, is super jumbo going up to 30 mil, or commercial or private, or using pledged assets and buy before you sell programs and things like that as well. But yeah, we have a lot of other partnerships in which we can fulfill.